Hi everybody, it's September Best in Beauty time. Oh no, I forgot to light my candle back there. When I say light it, I mean turn it on. That's better now. I may not know what I'm doing with all my lighting in front of me, but at least I got a flameless candle back there. The month kind of got away from me here in terms of the Best in Beauty video because I'd been setting aside some things that I wanted to mention, and then lo and behold, we're into early October, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to shoot that thing. I'm so inundated with, you know, wanting to review the new holiday stuff. Anyway, I got some good picks to share. I've also got a few dud type products that I've discovered over the past month. One of the things that I want to tell you about is this little guy. This is called an Invisibobble, and these have been out for a while. I've had mine for a while. I think it was it a 2-pack or a 3-pack? I'll answer my own question in the caption later. But I got them from Sephora, and I actually had mine around the time that I cut my hair really short, so I didn't get use out of them for a while, but now I am. And I'm realizing just how great these are. They're a really good thing for people like me who have fine, like really slick hair. Like with my hair, I feel like I've got to wrap an elastic band around it a lot to get it to stay. And even then, you know, it loosens up, hair comes out, and this is so much more secure. And I feel like the ponytail is perkier. I don't know what it is. I think it's because when you get it wrapped around, your hair kind of comes up through these little, you know, like separations in the coil, and yeah, it just looks better, and my hair stays like in the same spot all day. And ponytails, buns are important to me right now because Eve grabs hair like it's her job, especially while I'm nursing. Like, she will grab for anything, even if there are a few hairs left out. Like, she will make it her purpose in life to go after those few hairs and grab and pull. It's painful, and you think maybe I'll go for the shorter haircut because I have kids and I don't have time and whatnot, but you know what? They will go after any length of hair. So I find myself going for buns and ponytails and all that, and the Invisibobble is really good. And also, when you take it out, like let's say you've had this wrapped 2 or 3 times around your hair and you take it out and it's looking like big and stretchy, just like lay it on your counter and go look at it in a couple hours, and it does go back to almost the size that it was when you bought it. So it's not like it's getting all stretched out. And that's another thing with traditional like hair bands, those little hair ties, the ribbony kind of ones that I use a lot. They stretch out pretty quickly. So I'm a fan of the Invisibobble. They come in different colors. Like, I've obviously got the brown, but I think they have blonde ones and maybe just some different colors, clear ones. Definite thing to consider next time you're placing a Sephora order. Another thing that I have big time been loving this month are these Infallible Pro Matte Glosses. Matte gloss just sounds silly, but that kind of is what it is. It is like a gloss kind of consistency, only a little bit thicker, a little bit drier, but it doesn't feel drying at all on the lips. They're super opaque. The colors are great that I have. I wanted to get more. Like, I had Statement Nude first, absolutely loved it. Went back and so many of the tubes had been opened up, and people are so like freaking just shameless about it too. It's like you see goops all over the side and it's highly obvious which ones people have messed with. Like, why are you getting so messy? It's like, A, you're breaking into the product in a store, which is a problem, but B, you're making a huge mess about it. When I was in Target, I'm looking around and I'm like, I'll take nearly any of these. I love the formula so much, I'll take any shade. I did a video on that topic. Products you want in every shade, this would be one of those. But Nude Allure was the one I ended up with, and it's really like a pretty kind of warm rosy shade. I'll swatch both of these on my hand. And the applicator is that sort of pointed doe foot that L'Oreal puts in a lot of their products that are like this. So that is nice for precision because these are very pigmented, but both of these I think are super duper wearable. There's Statement Nude, which is a nice deep rich kind of brownish nude, and there's Nude Allure, which, like I said, rosy color. Nude Allure has been in my purse since I bought it just because it's so handy. It seems to look good paired with most looks that I do. And today I'm actually wearing Statement Nude mixed with Charlotte Tilbury's Glastonbury lipstick. So that is this gorgeous, really deep, rich berry. And then because I just love the feel of this so much, I had put a light amount of that all over the top of it. I think it's just really pretty that way. But yeah, Pro Matte Glosses. They aren't shiny. but they are maybe closer to a gloss consistency than a liquid lipstick, you know, like a drying crusty liquid lipstick. They just feel fantastic and super colorful. You know, the colors are very opaque, but worth checking out. If I were to have named these myself, I'd call them like a matte lip cream or something like that. Couple things from the Too Faced Peach collection that I've been using with a lot of consistency are the Primed and Peachy, the Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. Just been reaching for this with darn near any foundation that I put on, and I do love this. I'm loving it more the more I use it. And I gave this a pretty favorable review in my Peach video, but I love the consistency. It's very light and seems kind of whipped almost when you put it on, but it is indeed cooling. Smells really good and very smoothing on the skin. It's just like a good clean slate. I think foundations go on more evenly because this has sort of smoothed out the texture of my skin a little bit on top of whatever moisturizer I'm using. So this works under my Burt's Bees, which is a little more glowy foundation, works under some matte foundations, one that I'll be mentioning here in a second. So really enjoying that. Also, I'm always using this stuff, this Peach Perfect. I swear, since I got this, I've been using this. I use it on the under eye. I kind of dust it all over my face really lightly. It is the Mattifying Loose Setting Powder infused with peach and sweet fig cream, and it's very fine. The way it's set up, there's a little like stopper here, which I love that that's there so it's not spilling out all the time. But when you pour a little bit of this into the cap, which is what I like to do to sort of ration some out as you're using it, it literally like pours almost like liquid out of this. The powder is so fine. It's kind of brightening, but not in a shimmery way, just it's by the nature of the color tone that it is. Now I feel like I'm tasting it again, but I like that so much. I've been using it tons. I have even more info on those products, by the way, and application of those in my Peach video that I've done. Also, full video on these products as well, but my Argan skincare, which is what I've been using at nighttime these days, I have never woken up with better skin than I have with using these at night. I've never sat down to my makeup area being so pumped about the way my skin looks before ever putting makeup on. It's great, and it's not just a look thing, but it's the feel of it. The softness is so good. So I use the Pure Argan Milk. I go a little heavier with this, and then this has been at least the formula that's worked for my skin, and then just a few light dabs of the actual Pure Argan Oil, like on the under eye area and anywhere where I feel like I've got some wrinkles going on, fine lines, whatever you want to call them. I work that into my skin, and it really has been fantastic. So full review on those if you're interested, but I have been loving them. I'm still using them, and I don't see myself turning back from those anytime soon. Let's talk about just an overall look that I've liked for the month. It's kind of matte with a soft glow. You can use a lot of different foundations for this because it's sort of a matter of what you do on top, the kinds of powders you set it with. Like the peach powder is really good on top of even more dewy foundations. It just gives this really soft, even look. But I have discovered this month a foundation I thought you might want to know about that I would totally put into my full coverage category. There's a very short list of foundations that I call actual full coverage. Let's go through them, shall we? We've got the Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover, the Urban Decay All Nighter. I would say the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover, but a little asterisk by that, you've got to be kind of careful with that blending because that can look sort of thick. But one that easily just works its way onto that list is this Even Steven Whipped Foundation from the Balm. I've not heard anyone talking about this, but this is fantastic. The container is tiny. Okay, and there's Steven, by the way, looking preppy as all get out. I first got this and I thought, this is tiny, like what's going on here? Did I get a sample or something? It's 0.45 fluid ounces, but then I started putting it on and I'm like, okay, I guess I kind of see what's going on here. It's like potent coverage, but it is this sort of light whipped texture. I don't get it. It looks really good on the skin and it manages to cover so well. Like I've got that on today. It gives me this beautiful matte look that's, I'd say, a little more coverage than the Too Faced Peach foundation, although I love that one too. That gives a beautiful look on the skin. That one gives maybe just the teeniest bit more luminosity to the skin, and this is just very like flat out matte. Both seem to have good staying power for me though, so I wanted to mention that if you were possibly interested. And then I've been using this a bunch, and this is the new Hourglass Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit 3. Like this and this have kind of created my look that I'm loving, which is soft matte foundation, and then you kind of layer on a little bit of glow that's never too much, you know, and I love the bronzer that's in here. I got the one that was like the marbledy packaging that I guess came out last year, last holiday season. Yeah, I was using it right after Eve was born, literally in the hospital. I had that one with me, but I like this bronzer more because it shows up so much better on my skin. Love the two blushes. These are gorgeous. I'm wearing both of them today. This is the highlight in the center up here, which is really beautiful if you like barely there glow. Like that's what's on the top of my cheeks, and I think it's perfect. And then in terms of the ambient lighting finishing powders, you have diffused light over here and dim light. And when Hourglass first started putting out all these powders, like that was the first kind that they did, were the finishing powders before the blushes and the bronzers and everything came along. And there was a while where I felt like I wasn't really getting the point of those powders, like especially differentiating between different ones. But here in the context of this palette, I totally get it. Like I can see how I can layer dim light over the deeper blush, and it's a beautiful like softened effect. Like I kind of see what they mean by that. This blends and softens everything. This I would even use like kind of lightly on my under eye, and it's a little bit brightening but not glittery. I don't know, I'm just kind of drawn to these multitasking palettes, and I think these are really nice quality pigmented powders, but very wearable on an every single day basis. There's a new line of products in my Walmart store that I found. It was right next to the new Burt's Bees display, and it's called Found. And I've been trying a few different things from that line, and I haven't had a ton of success. I'll go ahead and start by saying the thing that I did really like is this Baked Illuminating Blush in Rose Glow. Very, very pretty color here. You might at a glance actually think that it's similar to the deep color in this Hourglass palette, the deeper blush right there. I mean, don't they look like they could be dupes at a glance? But the one in the Hourglass is more like reddish rosy, and this one ends up having more of a pinky berryness on the cheeks, but it's very glowy, and it's the kind of blush that I would wear and maybe not even highlight my skin and just let the blush be the glowy thing. But this is soft, like ultra soft and pigmented, not one of those dry baked powders, so I really like that a lot. And I would most definitely look into other colors that they're making in those. But the other three things that I've tried from this line, I've been kind of let down on. One of them, this BB cream. It says for added moisture and sheer coverage. Well, yes, it is sheer coverage, and I would just like a little bit more. It says 98% natural, which would be the advantage here, and it does have blackberry extract. I have it. I guess I just stuck the sticker back on here, shade 20. It's just okay, but I find it to be really, really sheer. Maybe you want like a BB cream on the sheerest end of the spectrum. That's kind of what this is. Like it's not as much coverage as the Rimmel BB cream, which I love, the one with the blue cap. I just want a little more. Even if it is just a tinted moisturizer, BB cream, whatever, I want a little more coverage out of it. I don't want to just put it on and think, it doesn't look like I've put anything on. Another product that was maybe even more problematic, I guess, than that is this Found Full Coverage Concealer. I have it in light. It's a concealer stick, and it does have a lot of coverage, but it's way, way too dry. I mean, it's reminding me of kind of old school stick concealers that tug across the skin. It might work on a blemish here or there, but you got to ask yourself, where am I needing the full coverage concealer? For me, I'm wanting full coverage concealer right up in here, you know, cover up the dark circles, and it's too dry for that. Like if you've got any amount of fine lineage, you're gonna feel like, oh gosh, I look even older now with this concealer on. And then they've got these tinted lip balms, hydrating tinted balms, and I'm a sucker for a tinted lip balm. I got the one in Honey Kiss, warm, soft, pinky brown type color, and I like the product itself, but when you've got the stick like this and you put it on and it's a little too soft, look how it tips around, and then the edge comes in contact with the side and it starts pressing up against it, and you start getting at first a rim, but that will start to break down over time as you continue using it, and it keeps getting looser with how it's planted there in the stick. It's too wobbly, and it's still, formula wise, I don't even like it as well as my Neutrogena tinted lip balms, so I'll stay in that place. They've got the better packaging design, the better formula and product overall, but this was okay. Like I was on the verge of liking it, but I just can't get on board with the packaging. I just want to go like this with my hair after every time. I haven't done a darn thing to it, so maybe I shouldn't expect my hair to to do anything for me. It just air dried out of the shower, but I'm going through still like that postpartum hair loss, like feeling like my hair is already fine and flat to begin with. Then on top of that, you're losing some hair, and then on top of that, you don't have any time to do anything with it in the morning, so that's where I'm at. Can I make just a small, very minute gripe about this NYX matte liquid liner? I love a matte liquid liner. I love my Jordana Color Envy liquid liner, and I was kind of hoping that because these are almost the exact same packaging, that this would just be, you know, a more accessible option compared to the Jordana. But here's what this does. This has a little flat brush. It's tiny, you know, it's not super wide, but it's flat. Instead of just coming to a little point, it's like there's a little side to this brush. Look, here's where I'm holding it sideways, and then I turn it, and you see what I mean? It's wider on one side, and I don't like that because then that in some places gives me wider liner than I want. Can't I just have what Jordana makes, you know, just one small tip where everything kind of forms together and that's what you've got to work with? It's not a huge deal. I'll keep like seeking out my Jordana Color Envy online because it's impeccable staying power on top of everything, but I just love the way it goes on. I'm gonna mention one last thing here, and this isn't like a favorite so much because I've only worn it, I think this is my third time wearing it, but I just wanted like a show of hands how many people actually knew that this was a thing, this Too Faced chocolate chip. It's a little mini matte chocolate bar palette. Here's what the box said. I got this on Ulta, and I don't know if this was out for like a hot minute, sold out somewhere, and then never to be seen again, but I bought this like within the last 3 weeks or so on Ulta. It says, we transformed 11 of your favorite shades from the best-selling chocolate bar shadow collection into modern buttery matte finishes. Okay, this is what it looks like. See, there are chocolate bar shades here that I know were shimmery in that palette, and now they are matte here. And it does smell chocolatey still, and I've got it on my eyes today just for like a standard sort of brown neutral look. I'm wearing like all 4 of these and that shade and a little bit of the pinky shade on my lid. I love the size, it's adorable. My child would probably actually pick this up and think it was true chocolate. But what's going on with that? I get the sense that maybe this was out before, like when they put out the white chocolate one, which I do have the white chocolate palette. You know, that's small like this, but that had some shimmery, like lighter shades. But I love Too Faced matte eyeshadows, so I was like, oh my gosh, it's a little chocolate bar. By the way, I hear you guys who are asking for a I Remember video on the original chocolate bar palette. That's gonna happen. But for this video, I'm done. I'm gonna step away from the camera now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for all your great requests, your kind comments, your fabulous support that you show this channel. I appreciate you so, so much. I'm just so glad that we have this community of makeup lovers that can bond over stuff, enjoy each other's company. It's a great thing. So have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.